Hey, everybody, it's Grant Napier. Thanks for joining me here on Grant's Rant. I hope you had a fabulous fourth question. And I know I'm asking for a lot. Do you think it would be possible for maybe Stephen A. Smith of ESPN to go even 1 week without bringing race into his conversation and topics? Appearing on his recent podcast discussing the layoffs of former colleagues who were let go a week ago at ESPN, Smith even said he could be next and said this, quote, when white folks catch a cold, black folks catch pneumonia. Let me ask you this. Is there a better example? Would it not be Exhibit A, no pun intended, of a double standard than Stephen A. Smith? Seriously, is he the captain of double standards? He has the nerve to say, I've been telling you for a long time that when white folks catch a cold, black folks catch pneumonia. What does that have anything to do with what happened to the staffers at ESPN, many of whom are well known in our sports culture? And for Stephen A., who makes $12 million a year, to think that he could be next. Let me share something with Stephen A. If Stephen A. were white and made many of the comments that he has made in the past on a variety of subjects, he would no longer be at ESPN. The reality is, and for the record, I like the man. I think he's talented. I know him personally. But for the record, let's just call it the way it is. When Stephen A. looks in the mirror, he sees perhaps the best illustration of any member of the sports media in America that knows about privilege. Stephen A. looks in the mirror and what he sees is privilege. Anyone want to argue with that? Again, he brings in race into almost every single topic, and it's getting old. We know that you can bring race into many subjects in America, and it would be pertinent. We get that, but not all the time. Not as a cop-out. Not when you're trying to make a point like you did about yourself and the ESPN staffers. There's no need to say that you've been telling us for a long time that when white folks catch a cold, black folks catch pneumonia. Has nothing to do with what happened recently at ESPN. White people, black people, different ethnicities, different religions, different backgrounds, lost their jobs. And from what we understand, more are on the horizon. And I told you this day would come when you have decision makers behind the scenes at ESPN that give absurd, moronic, ridiculous contracts to talent such as Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I don't have a problem getting what someone's willing to pay you, but there are ramifications. There are ramifications for paying two announcers a combined $35 to $36 million annually to announce 17, 18, 19 football games. You got to make up for that somewhere. And so what happens is you have firings such as last week. Again, Stephen A., stop it already with the race card. It is beyond getting old. And again, look in the mirror and you will see the true definition of privilege. And that is my rant for today. Hey, join me a little bit later, 5 o'clock Pacific. I will have my open forum Wednesday on Listen App. And then after the King Summer League is finished tonight, I'll be on YouTube and open forum Q&A. We've got a lot to talk about. That's all coming up today on If You Don't Like That. Have yourself a fabulous day, everyone. And thank you so much for joining me right here for Grant's Rant.